Hi there, and welcome to English 101 Fall 2019. I'm really glad that you've decided to take this class with me online. We'll be entirely online, 100% asynchronous, except that I'll be offering you 2 synchronous office hours through Confer Zoom, that's through Canvas, which I'm sure you'll find, on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons between 3:30 and 4:30. So I hope you'll join me for as many of those as you need. Part of your participation grade will actually depend on your turning up once a month and having a substantial exchange with me. So that's a small part of your grade. All right, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I prioritize in English 101. I think that evidence is of prime importance. And I'll tell you a little story about what happened to me over the summer. I spent a little time with my family, my extended family, as opposed to my own children, who are always with me, and my husband. And I went to see one of my brothers and his daughter, my niece. And she's a wonderful, dynamic young woman, 18, a vegan, and she is extremely emphatic about being vegan. However, I asked her to provide me with some evidence to persuade me to become vegan like her. She wants everyone to be vegan. And she said, I don't need evidence. Passion is on my side. We have to save the planet. And I said, oh, I agree. We need to save the planet for your generation and the generations to come. But how are you making those connections? How are you going from vegan to preservation of the planet? And she said again, trust me, this will make a difference. I don't need the evidence. You just need to believe me. Well, in English 101, as in any other class that bases its work on critical thinking, we do need the evidence. So what I'm going to ask you to remember is that as we begin our work, working towards becoming college-level writers, we're also going to be college-level readers, and we're going to identify evidence. That's the key thing that I hope we'll take away from this class, how to find the accurate evidence and how to incorporate it into our arguments. All right, I'm just going to take this opportunity to show you the books that we're going to be reading, and here we go. I'm going to go over here, and this is our first book. It's our only book, I'm sorry. You will acquire somehow. You can buy it, you can borrow it, you can use the one that's on reserve in the GCC library, but this is the one that we'll be using. It's the 2015 edition, so the second edition of Elizabeth Kolbert's Field Notes from a Catastrophe, Man, Nature, and Climate Change. And the reason that I'd like you to get the 2015 edition is because it has 3 extra chapters that don't appear in the original 2006. As you can see, Kindle costs $9.99, or you can rent it, of course, from the bookstore, or you could buy a paperback if you want it. As you can see, you can also get used ones of the paperback, but you do need to make sure that they are this edition and not the 2006 edition. One of the other major pieces of writing that we'll be reading, we'll start with, is this article by Nathaniel Rich. It is in the New York Times. Because I find his writing a little bit difficult, this is a message from the editor, Jake Silverstein. It's a little bit difficult to parse. I have also read aloud and recorded this article for you, and you'll find it on Canvas. And in a way, I'm embarrassed because it's far from perfect recording. In fact, at one point, you'll be able to hear my hungry cat meowing in the background. But I hope it will help, and I will give you a survey after we've used the recordings and you've read through this article. We're going to read part 1 first, and then we're going to move on to part 2. I hope you will let me know whether it was helpful. All right, I don't want this to be too long. I'm excited to get to know you. You'll be writing for me in the first week so that I can get a better sense of who you are, and I'll be giving you feedback as soon as possible. Welcome to class.